Hey, Bobby here from freedomwithbobby.com, and throughout the duration of this series, we're going to be exploring successful ads and what makes them successful. So in today's lesson, we're going to be looking at a $4,008 lesson from the travel industry, looking at how they can sell a $4,000 plus package using only print advertising. Let's look at the strategies that they use to be able to compel their readers to buy just using print. No video, no audio, no one-on-one sales, print alone. So if you're in the travel industry, grab a pen and paper because this lesson is definitely for you. And even if you're not in the travel industry, then definitely pay very close attention because you can use these principles across any industry or any niche. So with that being said, let's dive right in and look at the strategies that are being used in this very successful ad. So here it goes. They say this is a time of life to stop and smell the roses. How boring. We think this is the time to clench a rose between your teeth and slink across a Buenos Aires dance floor. Now is the time to start something new, like learning the art of calligraphy in Japan. With your hotels, transportation, and sightseeing arranged for you, Globus brings exotic destinations to life. Wow, I don't know about you, but I was completely sucked in by this advertising. Man, just the language is so sensory rich. It really just draws you in. It really makes you feel like you're experiencing the travel experience, the destinations that they're talking about without even being there, just by the use of language. So let's dive in a little bit deeper and see what strategies they're using to really draw you in and create the experience for you even before you consider buying the package. So one of the first strategies that they're using is what we call embedded commands. So let's start back from the beginning. They say this is a time of life to stop and smell the roses. How boring. We think this is the time to clench a rose between your teeth, ... So here's the embedded command. This is the time to clench a rose. They are telling you that right now, in this very moment today, is the time to clench a rose between your teeth and to slink across a dance floor. If they just said that, if the ad read like this, they say this is the time of life to stop and smell the roses. How boring. This is the time to clench a rose between your teeth. Well, that would raise great resistance in the reader. It would really activate their conscious mind, and they'd be like, really, is this the time? But to soften it, they use what we call a lost performative by saying we think. It's a quote here, as in saying, hey, we think this is the time to clench a rose. So you're still getting your message across, but it bypasses what we call the critical factor, and it speaks directly to the emotional factory, which is your subconscious mind, because we don't make buying decisions based upon rationale or logic. We make buying decisions based upon emotion, and then we justify with logic. And using embedded commands just like you see here, you can bypass that rationale, that logical part of the mind, and speak directly to the emotional capacity of the mind, which is where the buying decisions are made. And let's keep diving further and look at the sensory rich language here. It really creates an experience. It really takes the reader and puts them into a future place where they can actually, if you were to close your eyes right now and imagine, just pretend that you're in Buenos Aires and that you're clenching a rose between your teeth and you're with your partner or your spouse, or you've met a great group of friends down there and you're slinking across a dance floor. You can really experience this now by reading it and not even having ever been there, having never seen any pictures, no video. And you're there in that experience right now. So really using sensory rich verbs to really draw somebody in creates an experience in this moment so that they're emotionally attached to the outcome that you're trying to give them. And this makes people very compelled to keep reading. It makes them very compelled to buy. And it really creates like an open loop so that it can only be fulfilled and the emotional high can only be reached to its highest peak if they actually fulfill this experience in real life. Using language like this is extremely powerful, as you can see. So let's continue on and see what other devices they're using in this ad. All right, I love this part right here. So now is the time to start something new, like learning the art of calligraphy in Japan. So by using a very generalized language pattern like start something new or now is the time, causes your reader to connect the dots for themselves, because when you speak in very general language patterns, it causes the subconscious mind to want to make sense of the message that's being transferred to it. So maybe they do not want to learn the art of calligraphy in Japan, but that doesn't really matter. Maybe they want to learn a new language. Maybe they want to go visit castles in Ireland. Maybe they want to try new and exotic foods, or go on a cruise, or whatever it may be that your reader wants to partake in. And this kind of general language, especially since you already have them in a trance-like state by using other language patterns like embedded commands and sensory-rich language, especially now, they're really browsing their own history to find an experience to make this make sense to them. So you're not even having to sell anything to them, but they're selling it to themselves. And this is extremely powerful. And same here with your hotels, transportation, and sightseeing arranged for you. So what goes through the mind of your prospect when they read an advertisement like this? So what hotel will I be staying in? Will it be 5-star? Will it be 4-star? Will it have a swimming pool? Will it be a hot tub in my suite? Transportation. Will I be on a megabus? Will I have a taxi? Will I be on a tour bus? Will we be walking? Will it be a bike tour? Or sightseeing? What kind of sights or where I'm going? Will I be hiking? Will I be visiting glaciers? Will I be visiting museums, castles, historic libraries? What kind of sightseeing is actually arranged for me? So by leaving out key details, your prospect tends to put the details in for themselves, therefore selling themselves on the package that you're actually trying to sell them. And also, people like simplicity. They enjoy things being done for them. The less effort that your prospect has to put into this experience, the better. So by telling them that it's already arranged for them, you're giving them a sense of peace of mind and satisfaction, that there's less effort that they have to put into this to create the experience of a lifetime. And last but absolutely not least, Globus brings exotic destinations to life. People love new. People don't like old things. People don't like familiar things. People like exotic things. People like new things. People like things that are foreign. Not everyday, boring, routine. They like the exotic. So using words of this nature really take people to another place. It gives them, like I said, that future experience in this moment right now. So these are some very powerful language patterns. I'm not sure if you're aware of how much we've covered today, but just in this lesson alone, you have been taught and you have learned 5 or 6 different language patterns like embedded commands and how to sneak them into your advertising by using things like we think or they say, and just using a very loose quotation there to say things like, this is the time to clench a rose between your teeth and slink across a Buenos Aires dance floor. Or using sensory-rich language like I just said, and taking them into an experience that they can emotionally attach themselves to now and anchor themselves to your advertising by having that experience in this moment. Or using very generalized language patterns so that they begin to connect the dots for themselves, leaving out key details so they think about the hotels, they think about the transportation, and they think about the sightseeing. Also that people are generally looking for convenience and that you already have it arranged for them and that there's nothing for them to worry about. That they have a peace of mind because you have it all taken care of. And that you take them to exotic destinations, not a cool place, not a fantastic or amazing, awesome journey, but an exotic destination. It just has a different ring to it. So I hope you found value in this. If you did, please share, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, leave an awesome comment, and I would really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next lesson. Take care.